Hey guys, Mike the Vike here, back for yet another video. As you may already know, I'm a big fan of survival games and early access games, and I love playing them, probably my favorite type of game. With that said, basically every survival game I've played always seems to have a couple really annoying things. First thing I got on this list is the grind, and I'm basically referring to any time where you have to do the same thing over and over again, so whether it's as simple as hitting a tree with a rock, or taming a dinosaur for 12 hours. All these things are just, at the end of the day, really boring, really repetitive. I'm sure this is kind of in the game so that you can't just play the game and in an hour have everything. I understand, of course, there does have to be a sort of time investment. I just think that there's gotta be a better way to do it, where instead of doing the same thing over and over again, they gotta make it somehow a little bit more interesting. My second problem is the significant time investment that's necessary in order to have fun. Of course, though, this is sort of built into the DNA of survival games. They want you to sort of work and eventually get what you want, and that's why people like it. You know, you can work your way up the ranks. I think the thing that's more annoying is you can't have that progression over time or whenever you feel like it. In all these games, because they're online all the time, like you're never not online in a way. Let's say you build a 2x2 wood house in Rust. If you stop playing for, let's say, a few days, 100% chance that base is going to be long gone, either because of a server wipe or because you got raided. And that seems unfair. Basically every other genre, you can continue your progress and it'll be saved. You don't have to completely restart. My third problem with survival games is the lack of reason to do stuff. This is going more towards single player games, I guess. So The Forest will be my example. Honestly, I don't really see much point to play that game. The Long Dark is another one because there's no story to drive anything, you know? I don't really want to build a cabin and cut trees for a couple hours, or walk in the cold and eventually find a nice cabin and get a gun, but then get killed by a wolf. Like, I'm just like, what is the point in all this? I don't really care about getting a gun. If you look at games like Battlefield or Call of Duty or whatever, where you progress and you have ranks and stuff, you know, let's say you want to work towards getting a red dot on your gun. You know, that's just very easy logical progression. It's like, oh yeah, I'll be able to kill people easier if I get a red dot. I want to spend a couple minutes leveling up and getting that red dot. Whereas in this, it's like, I don't care enough. My fourth issue is being at a significant disadvantage if you're playing on your own. Although it's nice to sort of force teamwork and communication and getting microphones and being nice and social, that's wonderful. But the thing is, it goes a little bit further than that most of the time. And a lot of people don't play survival games because, you know, they'll put those 2 hours into the game, then they'll just find a group of 8 guys and they will stand no chance and they'll just die and have to start all over again. Next problem is lack of content and just getting bored way too fast. This is probably just a symptom of early access, and for the games that actually will continue development and won't just be abandoned, you know, one day I guess it would be solved. But it's still really annoying because in basically all of them, Rust included, you're gonna get bored at a certain point. You will have nothing else to do. And a lot of the times it's too early on, you know, and you waste most of your time hitting trees for 24 hours. Eventually it just gets repetitive and boring, and there's not enough new stuff to keep playing. My final complaint is poor optimization, and this has to do with a lot of them. For example, Ark. A lot of people don't like Ark because they get bad FPS, but poor optimization really kills a lot of these games. I mean, Rust is luckily one of those games where I get good frames per second, but there's so many games that I don't play strictly because of poor performance or having to compromise so much graphically in order to get decent FPS, when all you want to do is be able to play at wonderful full settings. Another thing I'm going to mention in this section is server performance, and this is basically having to do mostly with PvP and any kind of combat, where there's just so much lag in the actual game that it's not as fun. Many games have this problem. Rust, for example, the combat is nowhere near as good as it could be because there's a lot of times you're like, what the heck, why did that guy jump around and teleport? Oh, he's definitely hacking. No, he's not. It's just the game being really poorly optimized, I guess. So those were my 6 things I hate about survival games. Of course, a lot of these things probably are just symptoms to early access, and probably for the games that actually do go out of early access, a lot of these things will actually be solved. but it's still really annoying, and I think that they should be addressed or at least considered in these games' development. Once again though, I mean, it's not stopping people playing these games. A lot of them are super popular, and you know, there's just more and more early access games coming out, so clearly this is a popular market. Despite these issues, people still really love these games, me included. So let me know what you think of this. What things do you hate about survival games? Did I miss anything? Do you disagree with what I said? Please let me know in the comments. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.